Triple J, and today I'm going to be talking about the new X-Men movie from Fox, X-Men Apocalypse. To be more exact, I'm going to be talking about one of its characters, Psylocke. Psylocke has something of an odd, convoluted past, which is saying something because she's an X-Men. An odd, convoluted past seems to come with the territory when you're an X-Men. After all, this is a group of people who, over the years, have died, come back to life, died again, come back to life, have gone to alternate dimensions and traveled through time, and have been involved with one another romantically over the years. However, of all the X-Men I know, Psylocke is the only example I can think of a Japanese woman whose mind has been whitewashed. Let's rewind a bit, just to give a bit of context. The original Psylocke, Betsy Braddock, was a white woman and the younger sister of Captain Britain who developed psychic powers and joined the X-Men. Due to complicated events that make Hawkman's origin seem as simple and straightforward as Superman's, she disappeared for a while and then came back as a super ninja with telepathic abilities that she could focus into a psi knife. Basically, a white woman's mind was transported into a Japanese woman's body where she became a master hand-to-hand combatant and the version of Psylocke from the 90s that has persisted to this day. It also hasn't helped the character that she was given a uniform that was little more than a glorified one-piece bathing suit with leggings and fingerless arm sleeve things, and drawn by Jim Lee in the X-Men series to offer up as much fan service to fanboys as possible. Now, while the eye candy artwork isn't a problem unique to Psylocke, after all, both Marvel and DC continue to employ artists that draw female superheroes for the male gaze, it can be doubly bad for one of the very few visible Asian superheroes out there, especially with the X-Men Apocalypse movie coming out that will serve to boost her popularity. While my memory of the writing that went into the character is fuzzy at best, the Asian exotification and sexualization of the character has continued in its art. Now, this is a problem that continues to plague Marvel, especially with its TV shows and movies, such as the Daredevil Netflix series, which had the Uber Ninja Nobu, the Dragon Lady Madame Gao, and even the Kingpin's origin partially rooted in a journey he took to the Far East. And let's not even get started about the upcoming Doctor Strange movie starring Binkerdink Twiddle Faddle, where it's basically an injured white man who goes off to the Far East to learn the mystic arts. The only difference this time around seems to be that a Tibetan character, the Ancient One, has been replaced by a white woman played by Tilda Swinton. It's important to understand this context when talking about the Psylocke character, as we see her appearance in the Super Bowl ad recently where she slices a car in half and lands dramatically, and her costume has a boob window. In short, the sexualization of her character has followed her onto the big screen. And if you think the costume looks bad, well, Olivia Munn had this to say about getting into it in the first place. From an E! Online article, she says, Psylocke's uniform is not the most glamour thing to put on. There's actually a lubricant that they put in, and you have to slide into it. Yeah, as snug as Hugh Jackman's uniform was in the first X-Men movie, I doubt they had to lube it up just to get him into it. Overall, this trailer does not, in my opinion, present us with a very good first impression of Psylocke. Now, while I have no idea whether or not her convoluted origin will follow her onto the big screen, it does highlight a problem with the character that has been, for the longest time, ignored or just pushed aside into the other room. What do we do with an Asian superhero character that has been whitewashed on the inside and has been super sexualized and exoticized for most of her existence when there are so few Asian superhero characters to begin with, let alone ones that are also women? We can't, I would say, in good conscience, ignore how this character was recreated and used over the past almost 2 decades now, really. In the online discussions I've had with friends and acquaintances and comic book fans about this character, there has been the suggestion thrown around that they just simply kill off the character, which I don't think is very likely considering that the movie will make her character very popular. There's also an idea I've had that maybe we just reboot the character from scratch, thus erasing the problematic elements from it. But that wouldn't erase the history of the character either. That one seems a bit more likely, if only because DC and Marvel are in a huge reboot frenzy as of late. For those of you who watch this video, I imagine you have your own ideas as to how to fix the character to leave behind the problematic elements. However, for me, the entry of Psylocke into the X-Men movies merely serves to highlight the problem of racism with regards to Asian representation in Marvel Comics in general, and the movies in particular. I'm Triple J, and that's all I got left to say. Take care.